I'm going to call this Architecture Review Committee meeting to order at 4:05. I am just going to run through city staff members who are here are Kim, Jennifer, Christy, and Chris. And would you like to do a roll call, please?
Yes, I would. Let me know if you can't hear me. I'm on the microphone this time. First, we have Chair Carter.
Here.
Vice Chair Bluth.
Here.
Committee Member Hunter.
Present.
Nice to see you both. Committee Member Ostavar.
Here.
Committee Member Polly.
Here.
Committee Member Schmidt.
Here.
And Committee Member Tregenza already let me know he would be absent today. So that is 6 of you present. And for staff, you've already listed off. So back to you, Chair.
Awesome. Next, we're going to go through the consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have the minutes from July 7th. Are there any members of the public or the committee who would like to speak about the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, I'll take a motion for approval.
I move that we approve the consent agenda from the July 21st meeting of the ARC.
I'll second it.
It's actually July 7th.
So I want to correct for the record, there was a typo on the agenda. We are voting to approve the July 21st minutes of 2021, not the July 7th minutes.
Okay, perfect. So July 21st, motion was made by Ed, seconded by Bob. Is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Definitely. Chair Carter,
Yes.
Vice Chair Bluth,
Yes.
Committee Member Hunter,
Aye.
Committee Member Ostavar,
Yes.
Committee Member Polly.
Aye.
And Committee Member Schmidt
Aye.
and Committee Member Tregenza is absent. Those minutes are approved.
Okay. Next, we're going to have public comments. If there are any members of the public who would like to address the ARC for items not on today's agenda, we will take them now.
Absolutely. And just a quick introduction about how viewers can join to provide public comment. We do encourage members of the public to join our meetings via Zoom Gov, a secure service that connects you live with no lag time. This meeting is also streamed live on youtube.com/City of Monterey with a 10-second delay and Comcast channel 25 with up to a 90-second delay. If you would like to provide public comment, please join the meeting using Zoom or by telephone, making sure to join in time to accommodate delays. To join the Zoom meeting from a computer or phone, use the link or phone numbers listed on the agenda posted at isearchmonterey.org. Since the meeting has begun, you will find the agenda under the Recent tab. To join by telephone, dial 833-568-8864. This is a toll-free number. Once again, that is 833-568-8864. If the first number does not work, please try another. There are more listed on the meeting agenda, again, posted at isearchmonterey.org. You will need a webinar ID to enter this meeting. For this meeting, it is 161-914-9563. Once again, the webinar ID for this meeting is 161-914-9563. If prompted for a participant ID, press pound. Detailed instructions for using Zoom are available at monterey.org/public meeting. To provide public comment, use the raise your hand button in Zoom at the bottom of the screen. If you are providing public comment by phone, dial *9 to raise your hand, then *6 to unmute when called upon. Public commenters calling in by phone will be announced using the last 3 number digits or the name typed into Zoom. Public commenters will be muted until it is their turn to speak. Please turn off TV or computer speakers or go into another room while connected by phone, as background noise interferes with the broadcast. Speakers will be called upon in order of hands raised, and the chair has designated a 3-minute time limit for today's meeting. Thank you. And let me click back to Zoom. I do not see any attendees currently, but I can let you know, Chair, if that changes.
Excellent. We will close public comment at this time and then reopen it if we have others who would like to join and give public comment. Next, we are going to have our first and only public appearance item, which is consider 674 Van Buren Circle, application ARP-21-0038 for preliminary and final architecture review of a pergola attached to an existing single-family residence. Staff have a presentation?
Yes, hi, good afternoon. Can you see my presentation?
Mhm.
Okay, let me start the show. Hi, my name is Christy Sabdo, Associate Planner with the City of Monterey. Please let me know if you have problems hearing me and I'll try to speak up.
Can everyone hear okay on Zoom? Great, thank you.
So tonight, we're going to hear 674 Van Buren Circle, a proposed pergola. The project was referred by staff to the Architectural Review Committee. This is typically an administrative project. However, due to neighbor concerns, staff has forwarded to the Architectural Review Committee. The project site is zoned R36. In the general plan, the land use designation is medium density residential. It's an existing single-story residence in the Old Town neighborhood. You'll see it highlighted here in blue. The neighbor who has concerns is at 672 Van Buren Circle, and I'll talk about those concerns a little bit later in the presentation. So as background, the subject lot is irregular shaped. So when we calculate side yard setbacks, the code asks you to use an average lot width. So prior to calculating the required side yard setback. So I just wanted to show you how we calculated that the average lot width for the irregular shaped lot. We took 3 locations and then we did an average of the 3 widths. And then we took the 10%. And so the minimum required side yard setback for Van Buren ended up being 5.4 feet. So the concerned neighbor is located north of 674 Van Buren. 2 letters have been submitted. They're attachment 2 of the staff report. Throughout the project, the neighbor had called the city planning office, and staff had visited the neighbor's house to look at the view that he's concerned about losing part of. So we visited his house twice, once at the start of the project, and then also once during noticing when the story poles and netting were up. And I have some pictures to show you later in the presentation. His main concerns are views and privacy. And again, his letter is in the report. It starts on page 24 of the packet. So there is only one window. It's on the north elevation of the neighbor's house at 672 Van Buren. It's approximately here. And his view is looking southwest across the yard to, it's kind of like a creek. So there's creekside vegetation, and he enjoys the view from his window. And the pergola will be, well, I have other slides showing you where exactly that would be. So this is inside the neighbor's house at 672 Van Buren. And I have photos later showing the story poles and netting. But there's only one window that on the north elevation. So he's concerned about losing any part of his view. So the proposed project, the applicant proposes to construct a 120 square foot pergola, and it has a 1.5 foot overhang only at the rear portion, not at the side. The pergola would be attached to the rear of the residence. and they are proposing it to be 5.77 feet from the north property line, whereas the required setback is 5.4. The proposed maximum height is 8 feet, and it would be made with redwood material. Here's a rendering of the pergola. Again, it would be attached to the house, the rear of the house. And the only part that overhangs is it faces the rear of the property. It does not have an overhang on the north side. So here's the site plan. The yellow shows the proposed location of the pergola attached to the rear of the residence, 12 by 10 feet. They're proposing a setback of 5.77 feet. Just so you know, the posts for the pergola were put in the ground prior to them submitting their planning application. They were not aware a planning application was necessary. The neighbor let them know that it was, and that's when they submitted their application for the architectural review permit. So they submitted a site survey that confirms that the existing vertical beam where the pergola is going to be located is 5.77 feet from the north property line as they are proposing. So here's pictures once they installed the netting. The posts are what will stay and what they had installed prior. So, and you could see photos of the creekside vegetation here. So in terms of the consistency with the zoning ordinance, the only thing that's really changing is the proposed side yard setback, and that will be consistent. It's 5.77 feet, required 5.4 feet. The height of the proposed pergola is 8 feet. Accessory structures are required to be 12 feet in height, so it meets that. And in terms of the architectural review findings, there are 4 of them. The first one is proposed siding, form, mass, and architectural style, and whether they're appropriate. So the 120 square foot, 8-foot high pergola would be of modest mass, scale, and proportion. It would be in keeping with the mass, scale, and proportion of the neighborhood. The pergola would not be seen from the street as it would be attached to the rear of the home. The architectural style is appropriate as it is of single-family residential character. The second architectural review finding is views and living environment. They should not be impaired. So the proposed pergola is appropriate. It would not substantially change the views of the vegetation along the creek, privacy, or living environment currently enjoyed by the neighboring resident. The pergola would meet the required side yard setback and would be 4 feet under the allowable 12-foot height for accessory structures. And I thought it would be helpful to use the single-family design guidelines, which are typically only required and applicable to new single-family residences and residential additions, to be used as a guide to inform the decision about the potential impacts to the neighbor's views and privacy. So if we look at single-family design guideline 1.12, it states, visual bulk should be minimized through the use of creative site planning on small sites with minimum setback requirements and proportionally large dwellings. So the proposed pergola would be set back 5.77 feet, whereas the proposed side yard setback along the north is 5.4. The proportion of the proposed pergola would be lower than the allowable maximum height of 12 feet for accessory structures. The maximum height of the pergola would be 8 feet. So it does meet, according to staff, it's within reason. It has minimal visual bulk. And single-family design guideline 1.13, buildings should be designed to not totally block views from neighboring structures. So while the proposed pergola would block a portion of the creekside vegetation, looking southwest from Mr. Hanlon's window, the view from 672 Van Buren Circle would not be totally blocked by the proposed pergola. And I have pictures. So here's the view. You can see it would not totally block the view, and you would be able to see through a part of the pergola. It's not like an addition where it would totally block. the view. And here's a second picture here. So staff is recommending a special condition of approval because there are vines currently growing on the pergola, on the posts. So I thought, to protect the neighbor and having the vegetation not completely grow really high and kind of out of control, that we set a limit on how high the vegetation should grow on the pergola. So staff is recommending a special condition of approval that the property owner shall maintain any vegetation such as vines and similar climbing vegetation on the pergola so that the height does not reach a height higher than 9 feet above the pergola. The third architectural review finding is consistency with the Monterey general plan and other adopted area, neighborhood, design guideline, or similar documents. The project is consistent with the general plan. The land use designation is medium density residential, and the pergola would be of a single family residential character. The project is consistent with the Old Town area plan that states there is one that's relevant. All new development and building alterations in the pre-1950 buildings in the residentially zoned parts of Old Town shall be compatible with the Old Town character as it exists on both sides of the street's block face. This proposed pergola is going to be at the rear of the home, so it will not be seen from the street, and therefore it's consistent. The last finding is the proposed finish, colors, materials, landscaping, lighting, fencing, and all other exterior features are appropriate for the project site, immediate area, and the city. The project would be constructed of redwood and is proposed to be of modest size and design. The pergola is appropriate for the project site in that it complements the architectural style and is appropriate for the immediate area and the city. And staff recommends approval with one special condition for the proposed pergola. Staff is available for questions, and my understanding is that Max Troyer, the applicant, had planned to attend the meeting, and it's my understanding that the neighbor may not be able to attend tonight.
I have a question. Can we go back to the special condition? I'd like to ask a point of clarification on that, please. Where it says at the near the end of that the vegetation on the pergola, so the height does not reach a height higher than 9 feet above the pergola. So you're saying that it could reach a total of 17 feet?
Oh, that's a very good point.
Or is it
1 foot
total?
above the pergola.
Yeah, so that's what is intended there is 1 foot above the pergola and not 9 feet above.
Correct. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
And that will make that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Seeing none, is the applicant with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, awesome. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Did you want to give some remarks or tell us more about your project? And
Yeah.
If we have
I-
questions, we'll ask you too.
Well, I'm happy to talk about it. Thanks for inviting me tonight so that we can discuss this project. Our backyard is pretty exposed. We don't have a lot of shade right now, and the primary reason we wanted to have a pergola, we have 4 small kids under 7 and under, and we wanted to have a shade structure so that we could eat outside or sit outside and read or do whatever without being constantly in the sun. Also, the west wall, it's the boys' room, and it gets really hot. And so we thought putting a pergola right there would kind of shade that wall and cool down the bathroom and bedroom that they're in. And the ultimate, I mean, we are currently growing some grapes. They're making their way up the vine. So we're hopeful that we can get approval to build the actual pergola so the grapes can keep going. I was talking to my wife tonight, and she pointed out that the grapes will be growing in the summer and will be green, but at the end of the growing season, we'll cut them way back, and the pergola will just be the wooden structure. So the view will be either green, beautiful green grapes growing, and grapes that we can share with our neighbors, by the way, if they are healthy and happy. And also in the winter, the grapes will be the leaves will be gone and the view will be pretty much back to normal, just some sticks to look through.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any questions for the applicant? Okay, great. Then we will, I will take a motion if someone would like to. Give it a shot.
I move that we approve the application ARP-21-0038 for preliminary and final architectural review of a pergola attached to a single-family residence at 674 Van Buren Circle with the special condition of vegetation not to exceed 1 foot above the pergola.
I just realized that we didn't do public comments, so we should do that. We're gonna hold on that thought and we're gonna go to public comments. If there are any members of the public who would like to make comments on this agenda item, Jennifer, can you give us how to join?
Definitely. To join the meeting from a computer or phone, use the link or phone numbers provided on the agenda posted at isearchmonterey.org. To join by telephone, dial 833-568-8864. That is a toll-free number. I repeat, 833-568-8864. You will need a webinar ID to enter this meeting. And for this meeting, it is 161-914-9563. Once again, the webinar ID is 161-914-9563. We do have one attendee in the meeting. And just a reminder, if you are calling by phone, raise your hand by dialing *9, and then you can unmute by dialing *6. So and this attendee with the last number is 558, I have just given you permission to provide public comment. You are on live with the Architectural Review Committee. And you will need to unmute by pressing *6. And I do see that the caller is still muted. You should have the availability to speak. If you just unmute yourself, you can press *6 to unmute. There you go.
May I speak now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Thanks so much.
Welcome.
Yes, I live at 672 Van Buren Circle. I'm the next door neighbor of Max Troyer. The window that you saw from different views and 2 different dates is fairly accurate. However, I want to point out that although the rules or your architectural rules of a maximum of 15 feet, I believe, for the height would completely block my view and window of the open space. I see deer out there. I see other beautiful vegetation that is impeded by just this like 3 feet of pergola. Okay, so this is my only window where I see a view out of any window in my whole house. And I've lived here for 22 years. So I'm 81 years old and I don't go anywhere. So this is important to me to be able to sit and look at a peaceful view like this. Additionally, the vegetation that's been planted, grapevines, I guess, could and probably will dry out. I think the applicant even said that. And so that alone presents a fire hazard. If they have a barbecue and it gets out of control, so to speak, when it gets lit, then it could start the whole pergola on fire, starting maybe with the grapevines. This is only 10 feet away from my existing structure, and it's closer than that when you go into my bedroom and then into my master bathroom and look out. And I typically leave my bathroom window open all day long. And so there's bathroom noises, for instance, that will be, that the applicant will be subjected to. So I'd just like to point out those things and hope that this project could be altered, or as I requested, I made contact with the applicant and asked in an email if he could please relocate the pergola to the downward portion of his backyard, which would allow me to keep my view. And he did not respond. So I guess that's the end of my concerns that I wanted to bring up. Thank you.
Do we have anybody else for public comment?
I do not see any more commenters. I do want to thank this caller for calling in and providing public comment. But that is the only other person I see in the meeting as of now.
Okay. Are there committee member comments at all? Okay, then we'll take your motion again, Ed.
All right, I move that we approve the application ARP-21-0038 for preliminary and final architectural review of pergola attached to the existing single-family residence at 674 Van Buren Circle, with a special condition listing the maximum height of vegetation of 1 foot over the pergola.
Is there a second for that?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Justin. Is there any further discussion on the motion from anybody? Okay, we'll go into roll call, please.
Bob, I think you are muted. Were you saying something? Okay.
Aye.
Chair Carter,
Aye.
Vice Chair Bluth,
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter,
Aye.
Committee Member Ostavar,
Aye.
Committee Member Polly,
Aye.
Committee Member Schmidt,
Aye.
and Committee Member Tregenza is absent.
So that motion carries. You've received your architecture review permit for your pergola, and this can be appealed to the city, to the planning commission within 10 days. So any member of the public, anybody can appeal it. Thank you for being with us, Max, and your time. Are there any other informal committee member comments? It's really fun to be back in the council chambers. Staff reports. I saw that there was nothing slated for next meeting.
We are, oh, I'm sorry, I'm about to get confused with another project. I don't have it pulled up real quick. Let me look at our matrix. Our 8/18 ARC meeting will be canceled. That, and we do have 2 items scheduled for 9/1.
Great. I think that's all. We will close the meeting at 4:35.